but I'm gonna just vibe off your conversation and go from there. I mean, I have a lot to talk about, but I don't. And I've noticed, like, I was looking at Judge Mathis one day, and he was saying he dealt with some budge out of a motel, and he was like, "How can I tell people about the budge out that I dealt with at this motel?" But what happened was one of his, I can't remember if it was the plaintiff or the defendant, they brought it up in a way so he was able to talk about the personal situation with that hotel, right? He didn't get a name or nothing like that, but he said, for the ones that know and been knowing me a long time, y'all know certain hotels that I deal with, but this one in particular, and he was able to, he was able to give everybody an earful with that hotel because it was definitely, how did he word it?
All right, we gotta get started, bro.
It was unprofessional, so to speak. All right, wait a minute, let me.
All right, peace, light, love, everyone. This is the third out of 5 Just About Audio Podcast. Look, we back at it again. This is a part 2 of Generation Going Through Something. We got a lot of good feedback from the last episode, and we definitely gonna talk more about everything as far as like having more input. We're gonna go over comments that people have gave us to go over and stuff like that too. So yeah, so I want to start it off with something first.
Oh, while you're doing that, for the ones that know me, I'm T2NINE. I'm your favorite hustler. I have a show called The Hustler Experiment. We still up?
Go ahead.
We still up?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Anytime you can check out my show. What I do on a weekly basis, I inform the 757. I keep you informed with the national news, the entertainment news. I play your oldies, your hits. I have different segments on my show. I have all kinds of segments, whereas within 2 hours, I'm forever keeping you informed and keeping you, whereas it's no boring, it's not a dull moment on my show. And I'm glad to be here with you, RK5, because the day has been a trying day as well. If I can be real brief, the reason why I'm late, because today, just the other day, I was told, and a lot of y'all that know me, I'm a professional truck driver. I've been driving trucks for almost 30 years, and if you know me, you'll know it's a segment on my show. It's the 5-minute commute mix, whereas it's a constant reminder to bring down the road rage on these streets so it can make it a better commute for the 757. But anyway, me driving trucks for almost 30 years, half of those 30 years, 15 years ago, I bought my own rig. And the first 3 years of the 15 of me being on my own, I was able to have a good parking spot near my house. So I was able to move from there. In the last 12 years, I was in this spot. You couldn't beat this spot with the biggest bat. But then I was told just last week, they put a big old sign out there. And what it was, a bunch of sorry, no good jokers messed it up for the rest of us. And I don't want to bore you guys with the detail, and that's one of the ones I want to touch on. Why is it that you have ones that mess up a good thing? But anyway, I was late, so today I had to go take care of some business so I can make sure I have a good spot for my rig. When I found out, I came close to tears. I was like, Lord, I cannot believe this. Here, and like I told you one time before, you'll have an enemy. Like, say if I'm your biggest enemy, and let's say, Ray, me and you didn't get along at all. We didn't get along at all. We were sworn enemies. And you find out that I lost a spot. You could say something like, and dang, I forgot to put this on mute. Hold on. Yep, I know that's I'm putting it on mute. Yeah, there we go. Look, let me tell you this. If Ray was my biggest enemy, he could tell other folks, yeah, well, that's what the 29th get. See, because God don't like ugly. But by us being cool, Ray has said something like, Ty, God will close one door and open up another one. See how it works in the real world? That's how you got your preachers and you got your judges and all of them. It's a win-win for them because they can tell people that they can brainwash that are weak. Mm-hmm. It don't matter what situation they come with. Oh, you'll be all right. The Lord gonna work it out because I just spoke to the Lord this morning and he told me to tell you. But then if you're an enemy of that sorry no good joker, that sorry piece of crap or whoever it is will say, well, that's what you get because God don't like ugly. I'm looking at both sides of the fence. And for those that disagree or agree, feel free to talk about it. Put it in my feed. Hey, my Facebook page and other stuff that I'm on, it's public. But anyway, that's why I'm late. I had to take care of that business, and I got another spot. I'm sure it's gonna work out. I got to come out my pockets. I got to dig deep again. Everybody's in my pockets. I owe everybody. No one owes me nothing. Anyway, I came close to tears last week, and I don't want to bore because we got stuff to talk about. And where we're at, we're not too far from Monticello Market Street, home of the Percolator Studios. RK5, one of the collectors, the groups that's coincide with helping me with the Hustler Experiment. I'm hoping the Hustler Experiment grow legs and grow places. Hey, I'm thinking syndication, baby. I'm thinking like on a Tom Joyner aspect because he started out small and then, look, he's retired. He's chilling like a villain. Anyway, I'm going to give it back to Ray. I'm going to feed off my main man, Ray. Thank you for having me. I don't mind doing these shows because, man, we got other spots that we can deal with. So if you want, I'm not the type to put out anybody's business. You can tell about the business of what we had to deal with the other day, what we dealt with yesterday, which was a blessing. Yeah. I'm telling you, this man right here, I know you have enemies, I have enemies, but I seen where, man, I was like, hey, boy, how you gonna get out of that? And then you call me later or you'll say something like, see, the Lord is in the blessing business. But see, that's for ones that's like hoping that it'll work out in your good. But then when you have enemies, what else are they gonna say? They're good for saying, and that's another one, I don't believe in karma. I do not believe in karma. I do not believe in, oh, you're gonna get yours or your day coming. Because everybody gets a turn. Because I got bad luck and I think I'm treating people right. I mean, we all got some tricking with us, but it depends on the level of tricking. Yeah. Go ahead, so man.
We're gonna dive deep more into everything, man.
And let me see.
We're gonna turn it over to Miss Tina Turner. R.I.P. yo. R.I.P. This is proud.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're gonna play some Tina. Like them vibe out.
That's the way we do. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep. And I was worried about the way that things might have been. That big wheel keep on turning. Primary keep on burning. And we're rolling, rolling, yeah, rolling on the river,
All right, yo. So R.I.P. to Tina Turner, y'all.
Real R.I.P. I grew up on Tina Turner, and for those that are old as I am, I'm talking about way back in the 60s where it was like Ike, may he rest in peace, and of course, you know, everybody, it depends on how you check up out of here.
You seen the meme that people been posting with
well, I wouldn't be surprised, but you having a bad reception because I'm not even able to pick up. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and if yours is picking up good, we all good. But as you can see, there's an age difference, and the reason why I was able to link up with RK5 is because he has what you call he's determined, and I have dreams as well. So when you put two people together like that, that wants to, that they have a strong drive to get from point A to point B, you like. Not only do you talk on that, but then you start hearing other little stuff that'll come up, and I can be like, hey, I think I can help you with that, and vice versa. So that's how we're able to, and I'm able to talk to my sons. I think they turned out very well. I'm not trying to get a pat on the back or nothing like that. I'm not nowhere near like Father of the Year, none of that stuff. I look at it like this. You stay in your lane, you do what you have to do your part. Because you don't know who's watching you. You never know. You're going to have someone looking up to you, whether you like it or not. That's why it's important, especially in this day and time, Big Brother is forever watching. Always watching. I mean, one time I was somewhere. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead and do that.
We're going to dive deep into, because this is the episode we talking about generations.
Oh, right.
Going through something. So we didn't touch on. Shout out to my grandma, because she was definitely listening and staying tuned. She had her notes. She had her notes with her. I got a video I'm gonna share with y'all on Instagram later on today of her taking, like, she reading her notes and telling me everything that we should talk about and how we should present ourselves and stuff like that. But one of the things she told us that we should talk about was appreciation, which is the big key factor. I feel like with anything, especially with life itself, that appreciation always be on the forefront of like everybody's life, because that is just as like showing gratitude, and gratitude is like basically the key of manifestation, of the key of attracting the things in the life that you want for yourself. And I feel like with my situation and what I've been going with my life and stuff, I always make sure I show appreciation and gratitude in a way, because for one, when you do that, you are basically in the moment, you're cherishing the moment, you being in the moment, and then you also just giving that person recognition or anything, that recognition, because it couldn't happen. That situation wouldn't have happened, you know what I'm saying? So what would you do if that situation wasn't happening towards you? And everything just went left, and you didn't have no help or that person on your side. So you just always want to appreciate when things is working out, or you see someone putting effort to make your life better. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like we said in the first episode, nobody has to do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no obligation for someone to do something for you. You know what I'm saying? So anytime somebody reach their hand, or the creator brings something for you, or blessing you with something, give that appreciation. Cause me, I show appreciation to the creator all the time. Like especially when I'm thinking that I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this situation. Like he said, like certain situation I really be thinking I don't know how to get out of, but I always ask for guidance too. Not just praying and stuff like that. I always make sure I pray and ask for guidance, and have a clear mind and vision of like how I should move, because that's like my way of like how I got to where I'm at now, and to able to do these certain things and attract these certain people around me, and things going good. So I say like anytime you going through something, even if it don't even seem like you know the direction that you're going, still take that time away. Take at least 5, even 3 minutes, man. Come on. And just talk to the creator and just give an appreciation. Like, look, I appreciate the breathing. I appreciate my health. Because, look, man, people going through it right now. You see in China, 65 million people got this new COVID variant going on every day. And they saying it's growing every day. Every day is growing over there. And like I was saying in my Facebook post yesterday, and was expressing that this is exactly how the first COVID transaction happened. It started in China, and then it came over here out of nowhere, and then everything was everything. So we need to be appreciation. We need to appreciate right now. we need to appreciate the fact that we able to breathe and not wear no mask right now. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the appreciation we need to appreciate the moment of being right now. Appreciate everything that we have, the family, those that still here. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that's not that didn't survive COVID the last go round.
Yeah, I can dig that.
So,
I can dig that. And I ain't mean to cut you off. And shout out to Ma Dukes. What's your grandmother's name?
Maxine.
Thank you, Miss Maxine, because she said from Miss Fidget, I heard from a little bird, said, hey, tell that joker to look into the camera so he can look like he's talking to me. And I'm looking in the camera, Miss Fidget. Shout out to Miss Fidget. Shout out to the Cuffy crew, TJ and Reese. What up, Buddy Reese? Can't wait till you get home. But here's the thing. I always say on my show, The Hustle Experiment, we cannot make these days ourselves. So I always say I want to give all praises to my Almighty God and His Son, Jesus Christ. Now, that's for me. And I tell you this much. I know for a fact I did not wake myself up this morning. No alarm clock, none of that. Because God Almighty can say, I'm going to let the 29th lay right there. He's not going to move. So I thank God Almighty for letting me get up to see another day. And even with everything that I'm going through, that's why it's always a win-win. And we're going to touch on what you said, but it bothers me, and I'm trying to get people to see what I'm saying. It bothers me, especially to the brainwashed people that do not get it. Please think for a second. Even if you go to your leader, your pastor, your mother, your father, your guardian, if it's some tricking, they can have a win-win. No matter what your problem is, oh, it'll be all right. I got you. I talk to the Lord. Just hang in there. Or if you're an enemy, well, you know, it's something you're not doing right, and hey, the Lord, he told me to keep an eye on you. And God don't like ugly, so that's what'll be. That's why when people come with that karma stuff, you cannot, I don't care how you put it, how you say it, that's, to me, that's a way of people throwing it back at somebody because they wish they can go get a bat or a gun or something like that and revenge for themselves. So what they'll do is scare you with like a voodoo type saying, oh, you're going to get yours. And for what you did, it's going to come back on you. Come on. Bad luck hits me. Next month, it'll be good luck. Month after that, mediocre. It's every household gets bad and good thrown at them. Right back at you, Ray. We'll go into let's go off of you vibe.
R.I.P. to Jim Brown.
That's right.
So
I grew up on Jim Brown as well. One of the best to ever do it. Yeah, Shout out to Cleveland. And speaking on, and I ain't mean to cut you off, Miami. I am a big, huge Miami Heat fan. Boy, if y'all don't do it tonight, please, at least, please do not be the first to fall for the 0-3 deficit. It's 152-0, 152-0. 3 teams. I don't know the 3 teams. Only 3 teams were able to come back from a 0-3 deficit to tie it, but not win it. Please, Miami Heat, shout out to Jimmy Butler and the crew. Please, Pat Riley, if you got to go out there on the floor. I mean, I'm a huge Pat Riley fan. Shout out to Denver. Denver deserves, this is the first time in franchise history.
I low-key want to see them win the championship, low-key.
Well, this is the first time in franchise history that Denver has been to the NBA Finals. So it don't matter who comes out in the East, Denver going, I'm saying it. I know I'm not good at predictions, but this is obvious. This is very obvious. Denver got it. Denver.
Yeah, they swept LeBron. They definitely gonna win the championship. That's
even with AD and I'm a big AD fan too. And Walker.
We're gonna go.
Let's go ahead.
Going to Jim Brown.
Yes, let's do it.
He did a speech a while ago, some years ago.
Right.
And we're gonna touch upon for follow after the speech.
Let's do it.
Current activist. Jim, thanks for taking the time to spend some time with us today.
Sam, thank you for coming down.
Is it up loud
Jim,
enough?
you're involved now with
Okay.
this American program. What exactly is it? I don't think people can quite get a handle on what it is.
I'll make it real simple. There's a lot of killing going on across the country by gang members and wannabe gang members, and it's too much killing going on.
Say it.
Our prisons are overcrowded. Recidivism is at an all-time high. We have major problems with education. And the young people that's committing these crimes have no organization to relate to. The American program was designed to relate to those individuals, to teach them life management skills, to get them employed, to deal with them as surrogate fathers, to bring them, introduce them back into the mainstream of
Yes.
American life.
Yes.
So many people these days have a family that doesn't have two parents, doesn't have two role models to look at, and you say that this is an opportunity, as you said, as for surrogate parents?
Well, that's a part of it, but our curriculum, our life management skills training is invaluable. I'll put it in this way. You take the curriculum of life management skills training, which changes the thinking of an individual. You put hardcore ex-gangsters and gang leaders and ex-convicts and make them change their lives around, and then let them lead these young people into this curriculum. Then they become positive surrogate fathers, because not only do they lead them into the curriculum, they get the kids back into high school, they take them on trips, they become surrogate fathers because it's the holistic approach that will bring these kids really back into the mainstream of American life.
Jim, how did we get to this point? Not that you're a historian or anything, but it seems like
Maybe I am, but
Yeah, maybe you are. That's right. It seems like our society has moved further and further in this direction. How did we get to this point?
Because we believe in capitalism, and we believe that money is God, and our success is based on how much money you can make, and in competition. Therefore, the rich got richer, the poor got poorer, the middle class shrunk, and the disenfranchised basically had no other alternatives other than to make a living and survive, other than drugs, gangs, robbery, and all of these things. Therefore, you make your prisons not a deterrent, but you make it something that is almost an alternative, because 2 out of 3 basic human needs you can get in prison: food, shelter, and clothing, and social interaction. So we have to really start looking at ourselves and the way that we set our examples for our kids, because money is not everything. Quality of life has to be emphasized. We have to go back to family values. We have to go back to things that we have gotten away from, because what you find in the street is that kids develop other families. They become gangs, not because they want to be a gang, because they have someone that says, I love you, I will die for you, you will die for me, we will stick with each other regardless of what happens. And then there's a macho thing there. So we have allowed a subculture to develop because of the hypocrisy at the top of our system. Now when you look at all the scandals, the SNL scandal, the Clarence Thomas situation, the homosexuality within government, there's so many of them. And then you go out and you tell these kids to use these people as role models. And these kids know that they're not role models. So we have to get back down to certain basic family values and truth, and let truth be the thing that we all abide by.
Yes.
You talked about role models, and I know a lot of
Jim,
people.
Jim Brown was talking, man. He was speaking.
Well, let me touch on
right exactly what we talking about right now.
Well, let me touch on this. I may have some folk that disagree with me, and I salute you. Hats off to Jim Brown, and my condolences are out to the families and friends of Jim Brown. The part when he said God is money, I'm uneasy on that. I'm not feeling that part.
No, he's saying us, the generation. He was speaking that like people are walking around.
If as though,
using money as like is it God.
Okay,
like,
and you know what?
That's
my mistake. I'm sorry. Let me elaborate on that part to be clear. And your favorite hustler is going through a lot. I have a lot on my mind, and I'm so sorry to the 757. And for the ones that's listening under the sound of my voice, let me say this. Yeah, the part about, and what I was gonna say was, you have people, and I'm guilty of it, because I see a problem and like I'll throw money at it and say, okay, I did my part and leave. Money cannot fix a lot of stuff that's really going on at hand, because there are folk that have plenty of money, but throw money at it and think it's gonna fix it. No, it's not. That is why I took the time out. Last year was a very busy year for the 29ers. I went through a lot for the last year, did a lot of stuff on my own, but that's neither here or there. But I'm saying this, I had to get hands-on because, and shout out to my baby Claudia. One day, it was over a year ago, because the Hustler Experiment is maybe 7 months old now. And I'll tell you more at another time how I got into podcast/radio, because I love radio. What had happened a little over a year ago, I'm sitting in my front room and I was looking at Dateline, Lester Holt and all that stuff. There was some stuff that was being said and all, and my wife was in the kitchen doing some things. And she overheard me like woofing and tripping at the TV. And my old lady, she just pretty much said, well, Ty, you can talk a good game. You sit here in your front room, but what are you really doing? What would you do? And that's what lit a fire under my hind parts and made me say, you know what, I'm going to go do what I need to do. I'm going to stay in my lane, because there are a lot of folk that are better than I am at doing stuff, got a better speaking voice. They top right off the top of the dome. My man here, RK5, got a nice, well-speaking voice. Even my wife was like, hey, Ray, I like the way he talk. He goes with that flow. Me, what I do, I talk real fast, and then later I go back to listen to myself. I'm like, dang, I said it kind of backwards. I shouldn't have said this and that. But hey, I'm still learning as I progress, because this late in the game for me, I wish I could have done this 20, 25 years ago. But I had a lot on my plate, and that's not a good excuse, because we got a lot of the youth that are dying out here. And I can go to other avenues, like on my show, I got the suicidal prevention of all that, trying to keep you, that's the 988 number. If you having suicidal thoughts, I know I'm all over the place, but if you're having suicidal thoughts, please dial that 3-digit number, 988. I mentioned that on my show as well. The domestic violence, I got a lot of stuff on my show, and I don't mean to promote like that, but I'm just saying this, we're losing a lot of our youth. A lot of youth today are dying. 14-year-old today, I'm going to share this real fast. I'm going to turn it back over to Ray, and the time is definitely of the essence. We got 2 minutes after the hour right now. But today, I was talking with a young lady that was helping me to get in my parking space for the big rig. She was saying she has a 14-year-old son that's really, really losing it. And she said she just don't see where this boy, she's like giving up on this young man. Me, I know, 2 grown boys I have now, sons. They're grown men now. My oldest is 36. My other one is 29 years old. Both are good young men, grown men rather. Let me just say this for the record. I want to honestly say, if I want in their lives, all their life, because even I look back, there was some games I had to miss, there was some family time, there was some trips that I could not be a part of with the Cuffy crew. But for the most part, I was there in their lives. I did not want to be a part of that statistic. I said, I will not allow my sons to grow up without a father. I wanted to be there for them. I am not perfect. Because I assure you there's going to be someone that's going to come out and say, well, who is he to say and this and that? Because everybody's going to have their criticism. They're going to come back and forth their opinions and all like that. But I say all that to say this. I was always there for them, and I pretty much can say they turned out very well, and I'm proud of both of my boys. I have grandkids now. I don't get to see them that much. But again, God knows my heart, and I think I turned out pretty well. Shout out to my father. May he rest in peace. Thank you, Mother Thelma Cuffy. I think I turned out okay. And same thing for RK5. As a young man, I remember how we first met, Monticello Market Street, home of the Percolator Studios. Shout out to Homegrown Studios. And I always shout them out with my show, because there's always a start somewhere. I'm forever representing P-Town, because that's where it all started. But I'm going to give it back to Ray. I know time is is about to,
All right,
because I
so-
hit him out there as well. So
All right, so we're gonna
back
talk
to the
about
Ray. Back to Ray.
Respect. What is respect? How you know when you being disrespected, and how to handle respect. My guy Nipsey, man, R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle, man. Just
Real
great,
fast.
so much great, man. So
Well,
much
speaking
great
of
people
Nipsey
that passed,
Hussle,
man.
speaking of Nipsey Hussle, here's a trivia for you. That's why this is good. Yeah, I'm old school. I'm OG. Yeah, I'm very old. I'm not gonna tell you the age difference, but I'm glad I met this young man because he'll say some stuff. I say, you don't guess where it originated from. Do you know the origin? He'd be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, Google, and I tell him what to Google. He'd be like, oh man, wow, this is very. He'll Google. Man, I didn't know that. Here's one for you. Where did Nipsey Hussle get his name from? All you gotta do is check it out. You'd be surprised. I will give you a hint. No, I'm gonna let you. If you really
Yeah,
want to
let's-
know, just check it out.
Yeah, they figure it out. But what
Yeah,
I was
go
gonna say,
ahead.
Nipsey pointed out, with life is definitely base your life around like how you handle being disrespected. Cause
You talking about how he checked up out of here? How that
no,
went down?
I'm saying because he did an interview and he talked about respect and being disrespected, and he was like, your attitude on life is based on how you handle yourself when
That's true.
disrespect is like in your forefront.
I feel
So
you.
we're gonna talk about that because these are certain things that just don't be talked about, especially in our young community.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ty, what is respect to you? And you should ask. You ask me.
Well, I think respect to me is, to me, I feel like this. They say you can't judge a book by its cover. We judge every day. I can walk up, as I'm coming towards a person, either it's like this, it's like returning, it's common. To me, respect is like courtesy towards each other. Like, I can say something, if I know you coming towards me, oh, excuse me. And if that person does it, oh, no, excuse me. That's letting me know already that you have respect for me and I have respect for you. Or, we're not playing chicken with each other. Like, I'm thinking in my head, that person better move out my way because I ain't got to move. So what if we both thinking that? Then it becomes a problem. Then we got to make a long story short, that's what respect is to me. Like, for example, I can give you many stories, man. I did one on my show some time back, a few months ago, on one of my old shows. It's about the handicap parking spot. If you are a loyal listener, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But what had happened, and see this, I may get some heat, and my old lady was like, stop saying you may get some heat, just be straightforward with it. But what had happened with that situation was the young black woman, I say the creed, the race and all like that, she put her boyfriend or husband in a situation. And whereas the guy, he was Caucasian, you can look it up, the guy, the woman's boyfriend or husband, he left. He went, and so the white guy came up. It's all on video. Big Brother, something else.
Keep the story short.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna be very brief. The white guy walked up to the car and said, "Hey, you can't park here. You're not handicapped." Anyway, she started arguing with the guy. She put him in a situation, no respect at all. So when the boyfriend or husband came back, he didn't ask or do anything or just to be like, it was from what he saw. He pushed the white guy to the ground. He was carrying. He pulled out his gun and shot the guy to death. No respect whatsoever. I know for me, with respect, if it was me in it, because a lot of people ask, well, 29, so what would you have done? Anyway, my wife wouldn't have put me in that situation. But it's all about respecting each other. I gave that as, not a scenario, but an example on how you should respect each other based off of that, what I said at first. So that's what I think what respect is, because like I said, if I see you coming why can't I? And then you return the favor. So that's what I say respect is for me. So I'm gonna say to you, Ray, what does respect mean to you, sir?
Respect, is just not only just as a just a human being, just understanding like we all the same pretty much, but we different skin tone, different blood type, but we all the same. So if I'm coming to you with a proper manner, and I'm showing you the right respect, and of course I will want you to respect me back. And respect is like just being appreciative, or just honoring that person is just a person, or just accepting them for who they is, and not trying to judge or do anything or be rude. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of rude people around these days, especially now these days, and a lot of people that just feel like they can just say and do whatever they feel like, and just think that nothing is going to happen. Like everything is cause and effect. What you do and what you put out is something will return to you. So if that's the energy you putting out, then best believe expect that same energy to come back. So don't be looking crazy when it's at your doorstep and you wondering why that person is acting like that. It's just cause and effect, and it's just a domino effect too as well. Cause like that just how life is. Like we just have to, like I want to say, cause I even like going to these stores and going out here with the food, with customer service and stuff like that. Customer service ever since 2020 started, customer service been trash. Trash.
It is.
Even Chick-fil-A customer service has just been trash, and they just getting bougie now, because now they just letting the computers do everything as far as like getting your food and stuff like
What
that.
is
So
kiosk?
they got the chaos now, so they just feel like
Chaos. It's getting very chaotic.
Yeah,
but,
see how they put that?
Well, let me say this. First of all, it's hard to find good help these days. Second, it depends on, well, let's do this. You can solve a lot of problems by having dialogue. I never thought in a million years I would be having this type of dialogue with this young man like we are now. Coming up, I thought talking to someone like my sons, because I was like, okay, this is how I'll be able to find out what's going on in the generation coming up behind me. Because now, and I'm going to be real with it, a lot of these young men, you cannot tell them anything. They think they know it all. They've been through it all. Why not have some type of dialogue and talk? Like, for example, I hate to use this, but the only reason why I'm going to use this as an example, because it's fresh in my head and I was just talking about it. Ja Morant. The only reason why he's able to listen to certain folk is because there are other folk that's telling him, you better listen to these folk. You about to throw everything you really work for, and you gonna watch it go to naught. And I said all that to say this. If he was not a talented basketball player, and shout out to Memphis, if Morant was not a talent, he would not be able to listen to the Memphis organization and others that he could easily be put under their wing. Because let me just say this. You got folk that have nothing to lose. Why would a person that have a lot to lose hang with people that have nothing to lose? It doesn't make any sense. Listen, if I have stuff to lose, I'm not going to be around folk. Just because we grew up together, we from the parks and all like that, and from way back, old neighborhood, yeah, good to see you and all like that. I think it comes down to, well, I made it, or I'm doing well for myself. Sorry, you can't do it. You have to do what you have to do. It's not of looking down my nose at that person and I look down at them and saying, well, I'm sorry you're down there. I did it, why you can't do it? It don't have to be on that line. It could be on the line of me saying, hey, I can't hang with you, man, because you know this person, if anything go down, that person is zero from zero is zero. If I'm in a $1 million bracket and I can lose it overnight, whereas it took me years to get it, I can't hang around you, dude. I mean, the ones that are listening to this, I assure you, you're gonna look at me crazy and be like, Ty just talking crazy, but it's the truth. You may disagree. What do you think of a person? If I had nothing to lose, why would you want to hang with me? And I'm out there talking crazy and doing stuff, and I'm allowing you to do stuff. A real friend. Hold up.
Could be a close friend.
But a real friend wouldn't have went live and allowed him to wave that gun in the air and wave it like he just don't care. The first time, okay, slap on the wrist. When dude had to go to therapy, why couldn't the organization? Sometimes a lot of these people that's sitting that had you sit on their couch, they just as crazy as the person. They just as crazy, and a lot of them that got their degree, man, please. Anyway, how do you go to therapy and you really still don't know why you went to therapy?
So let me touch on that, because like you asked about why he would do that, and knowing that if that person is a real friend or not, you would know. We speaking on, like, again, this is why we having this conversation. This is our generation.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the prime example of our generation and how they look at things. Their experience is not how, like, for instance, how you experienced life back in the day.
Okay.
So now, these times,
right,
they don't even know what that is because they never was shown that. The fake stuff is what has been occurring in the communities. So, for say, he probably don't even know what a real friend is. He getting the mediocre friends and stuff like that, and he probably been getting that for years and just thinking that these are my real friends. This is what I call real. But for instance, for like you or like me, we know what a real friend is. We know what it looked like. We know who's there and who's not, and who's gonna tell you when you wrong and when you messing up and stuff like that, because you have experienced that and you have seen it. For him being young, being a basketball player, living a fast life,
right?
You know what I'm saying? He don't know. He wouldn't know because he always on the road playing basketball 24/7. He just know off the fly of what he deal with because all he's doing, everything is fast paced.
Okay,
so how would you ever know something if you always moving at a fast pace?
Okay, right. And let me cut you there. Everything you said, the majority of what you just said, I agree. But here's the thing: we have restrictions. When you said this young man allow stuff and all this and that, and how you grew up, let's come on, man. Let's be real with this, because I wouldn't go out there and just do something off the wall because I know I could easily get arrested or get locked up. Even basketball. Wait a minute.
You older
right
now. You done seen it. You done did it. You done done a lot.
No,
of stuff.
I haven't.
This is you talking about a 20-year-old. You talking about 20, 22.
LeBron was 20. Okay, LeBron was 20 with no father.
Raised at a different time. He was raised in 1984. This guy probably was born in 2000.
Okay, look. Okay, listen to this.
You got to think about that.
Okay, listen to this, Ray. With Morant, even when he allowed basketball to be a part of his life, even the game of basketball that I love has restrictions. You know, even on the playgrounds, on the back, and I played rough basketball, and for the record, I cannot play a lick of basketball. I'm not good at sports. Just was never, I was not gifted to have that or be down that lane. Back on the rough streets of Cavalier Manor way back in the day, shout out to Victory Manor and Cavalier Manor on Waters Field.
Product.
I was on
Shout out to
Watersfield.
Carter.
If you didn't play, you got fouled. I mean, with the quickness. When you got fouled or however pushed to the floor, to the ground, and all this and that, we still got up and kept playing ball. Here's the thing. Ja Morant knew, okay, this is rough, but I know it's a better way to play this game because I got to better my talent to become, because by him being the height that he is, you got to be even better than good to get into the NBA. There are restrictions. With that being said, he knew then, you were told, even with hanging with the thugs to the thugs, you are told, yo man, you can't go out there just showing your gun and all like that because the consequences. So even with what you just said, Ray, I can't buy that because I don't care what era, what decade, and what upbringing, what time you grew up in. You knew it. Look, you put. Wait a minute. You put.
If he know anything, you wasn't there. In
Well,
his
well,
life.
well, look, you
don't know what type of parents he dealt with.
Well, let me.
Just because they all smiley in faces and pictures doesn't mean he had been raised by good parents. Now, for the incident that happened, now it questions his parents, and for this to happen for the second time, it definitely questions his parents who were like, "Oh, y'all didn't talk to him yet." Or y'all agreeing of letting this happen to this man, knowing that he had millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, but with your words, going off your words, Ray, it's still the pointing of the finger. Still, you gonna play the blame game? We all gonna play the blame. Okay, let me use this example. Let me use this. I passed a stove coming in here. I just glanced. I don't think it was plugged up. Would you go lean on the stove? Or would you just touch it real quick and see if it's hot or not? Because you know the job of that stove. You know that stove can get awfully hot. Even if it's plugged up, you want to be like, oh man, let me make sure it's off. Because I won't hear, I don't know if it was just used or whatever, if it's unplugged. It's embedded in our brain to at least touch it and make sure it's not on, it's not hot. Just saying, man. Look.
We're in a time where
there you go doing the blame.
They don't care.
Okay, all right. If they don't care,
because if they did, if John Morant cared, he would never did it the second time.
Well,
the second time.
That's what I'm saying, and what I am saying to you, sir, and I want to bring AI, and I want to make sure we are able to tell the difference because I've done a lot of information on AI, artificial intelligence.
We're gonna pause it first. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to this.
Well,
hold on. We're gonna come back to this. We're gonna take a break, intermission, and we're gonna play my homie, old head. Shout out to him. Appreciate your support, man. We're gonna play you a song today called Armor. We're gonna jam out. We're gonna take a quick intermission, real quick.
Is this Hampton Roads on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to old head. This is new song.
You looking for shakes in my arm, cause it calm. Familiar with the double cross, trust can harm you. Could dig it, could don't it, respect you on it. I'm just here for the music and the caution. I'm just here for the music and the caution. I'm just here for the music. You looking for shakes in my arm, cause it calm. Familiar with the double cross, trust can harm you. I can dig it.
trust can harm you. Can dig it and condone it. Respect you on it. Saying for the music and the culture. I'm just here for the music and the culture. I'm just here for the music. This place survive and eat. Dangerous streets. Everybody here. Play for keys. Patch balls in the mud. Slugs and doves. Ice grill scrap. It wasn't no love. And line between love and hate. Smile walkers in between good and great. I say, the best ain't gonna tell you, they gonna show you. Be a man, woman, a roller. Shed blood, sweat, and tears. Face, face, fumble. Hustle from the muscle. Struggle. These toes down, chin up. Get up, leave. Forget about no debt. Take your weed. Adios. Peace. Exit the premises. Use your feet. Big wheel, keep on turning. Hustling. Keep on earning. Buck don't stop, you gotta work what you got. Get a package, get a hoodie, hug your block. Don't you lay down and fold. Don't you break that ain't cold. No, you looking for chinks in my armor. Cause of karma. Familiar with the double cross. Trust can harm you. Can dig it and condone it. Respect you on it. I'm just saying for the music and the culture. I'm just saying for the music and the culture. I'm just here for
Shout out
the
to
music.
Old Head, man. Y'all go follow Old Head on Instagram. Let me grab his handle real quick.
Hey, why you saying that? I say this.
Hold on. His Instagram is
Go ahead.
DA_OLDHEAD. Y'all go follow him on Instagram. Shout out to Old Head, man. Now what you saying?
Real fast, I'm gonna just say this. I'm not perfect, and a lot of you may not believe this. And Ray had a hard time believing this, because when we first met, I told him, I said, and look, I'm not perfect. But for the record, I've never smoked, never drank, no alcohol, never did any drugs, never used profanity. Anyone that's been knowing me their whole life, anyone in the world can tell you, they know me, they never heard me say any type of profanity or any obscenities. And even on my show, I try to keep the obscenities and the profanity off of my show, The Hustle Experiment. But we've all done some things, and even in God's eyesight, your goodness can be as filthy rags. So
Well, for my show, it doesn't matter, all goes, because when you do that, it limits you from other people tapping in. Because I want everyone that listens that use profanity or no profanity, because you're not going to run away from profanity ever. And that just
but here's my thing. I say on that.
Hold
But
on. Let me finish though.
My thing is,
Hold on, let me finish though.
that
Let me
means you don't
finish.
have
Let me
nothing. That
finish
means you don't
though.
have nothing to say.
Let me finish.
Because you be like blankety, blank, thank you.
Okay, but you can say that all day long. People still gonna cuss. So I will not limit you. You can still be on my show, and we still gonna play you. It's all love at the end of the day, and you're not gonna run away from it because it's being played. We want to stop profanity.
No,
but
I ain't saying that.
I'm not gonna limit other people that put it in their music to not be on be part of the third out five just survive. Cause that limits me.
No, and that's fine. My thing is, to be real with you, the Hustle Experiment is not making not one thin dime. I love doing it for fun. My thing is, if I don't ever make a thin dime for the Hustle Experiment, that's fine with me. God knows my heart. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I'm saying all that to say this. With profanity and doing all this and that, I look at it as a thing of trying to fit in. All my life, I wanted to be a part of and all this and that. In the next episode, we can talk about with fitting in with groups. And there's a thing that I did on, it was part of my news, the national news. This young lady, she was a mother. She lost her life because she wanted to get out of the gang life. And I never heard of being initiated or being beaten out of the gang. Anyway, it started from Richmond. It started from Richmond and it ended up in Yorktown. And when it hurt me because I'm like, wow, some of this news, and I say on my show, some of this news can make you or break you. It was just hard for me to believe, and there was other news that it just you can be choked up with it because I try to be comical on certain aspects because I try to make light of to keep from being emotional because a lot of this news, I'm like, wow, how does a lot of these anchors, reporters, and the media, because you can get hit with news and it'll hit you like a ton of bricks. I'm like, yo, no, that could not have happened. But anyway,
to go on schedule, we we about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But we're gonna we finishing up where we left off at.
Go ahead with it.
How would you deal with like knowing that you're being disrespected? Oh well, actually, wrong question. How do you know when you are being disrespected?
Oh, that's easy, man. Oh, I got a lot of stories on that. Well, since time is of the essence, let me go ahead and just say, I got to keep looking in the camera to Miss Fidget. She said, did she say look into the camera?
Yeah.
Look into my eyes. I want to know that, because I'm talking to everyone that's looking and it's under the sound of my voice. And my wife, she'd be like, why you got to talk with your eyes closed all the time? And I said, hey, because Prince Paul from De La Soul and Stetsasonic, I love that dude. And I used to work with the guy that was a part of Stetsasonic. I know I'm all over the place. I've had a lot of jobs, but I forget dude's name. He was a part of Stetsasonic. He was in the Norfolk area, worked with him for a while, and I watched Prince Paul, and when he talked, he'd be like, it's like he can think better, he can talk better. That's me, but I'm gonna open my eyes for Miss Fidget, right? Mm-hmm. And my wife, she got on me too. Real fast, to be disrespected, I would like to say, for me, I can almost feel your body language, the vibe. If it's a negative vibe, I know how to say, let me go that way because I know it's gonna go left. I can say something like, I'm trying to think what just happened to me that a person said something. I was like, that person didn't have to say that. I'm trying to think. Well, I don't want to prolong. It could be something as easy as, for example, when Ray said, when I knew I should have put my phone on vibrate, but Ray was pretty cool about it. It was like, yo, man, you know we're about to do this. You should have had it on vibrate. And I said, and you're right, I respect that. He could have either said, yo, man, turn your phone off because you ought to know better. That's when I know I'm being disrespected. But then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to wait to see if he's going to smile for the dentist. Like I had a dentist appointment this morning as well. And let me see if he's going to show some teeth. Because then if he would have had that look like he was about to turn into the Hulk like look, or if he'd have been like, just jiving, man, but we can do an interview. That's when you can know that it's that, well, should I say thin line? But to be disrespected is coming out your mouth wrong or the body language. That's how, for me, I can tell I'm being disrespected. There are a lot of folk that have their own opinion about how they're disrespected, but that's just my way of looking at it. That's my take on it. And go ahead, Ray, so we can shut this down. And I want to give a few quick shout-outs as well. So I can go ahead and do mine now.
I don't wait till the end for that.
You sure?
Yeah, because I'm not done. So how do you...
No, I know you're not done. What I was saying was, because I can say that, get my shout-outs, and then you can say all you need to say.
No, we're going to leave the shout-outs towards the end.
Okay, yeah, because it's your show. Go ahead.
So, how do you handle it? Like, how you handle disrespect?
Oh, man, I get up and walk away. I mean, I just get up and leave.
So for those that can't easily just walk away, especially those ones that they trigger, when they get really triggered and their attitude and anger all comes out.
What are you talking about, being captive?
For instance, for the females, man. For the females.
Okay, break it down.
How you break it down for them to handle they handle them. How, damn, I can't even talk right now.
Hey, did you have to say D? But go ahead. No, go ahead.
For the females out there, how can you explain to them how to handle their anger towards you? Because they can be easily triggered and their attitude just go through the roof and just go left. Now
To be disrespected?
Now they done drug the cashier lady out from her pit. Now she on the floor. Now her hair everywhere.
What cashier lady? Hold up.
I'm just saying when they get disrespected, it can go there. It can go there.
I don't understand.
You know, some of these females out here, when they get triggered and they can't handle themselves, it can go there.
I think I understand your question. I mean,
I'm saying, how can you handle disrespect? Just let them know how can they handle it.
Well, okay. Here's a thought that came. Here's an example that came to my mind. Okay, we're in this room right here. The only way I can escape the disrespect, because I know it could go left, is go through this door right here. What if it's crowded and it's out of my control, whereas for me to get out of the situation? God says, the Bible says there's a way of escape in any type situation. Or you can be in that situation so bad that you can say to yourself, I know I'm not gonna get in that again. So if some folk came up to this door and start disrespecting me to the fullest, I know how to say, excuse me, I get back with you. I'll get back with you. And in the back of my mind, I know I'm definitely not gonna get back with you, because I know this is a lot of who shot John. So that's my way of escaping the negative, the disrespect. I hope I answered your question, Ray, because I think I understand your question. But for the women, you can tell, why try to out-talk or talk louder than whatever, because you can be humble as a dove or soft as you can really be soft with your wording and still get your point across and say it in a way and still be respected to the fullest.
Right.
I know, hey, look, I ain't saying I've been through it all, but I know enough. Never been arrested, never been downtown. I know a situation I can say, oh, no, I'm not dealing with that, because I see where that is going. Hey, look, I know Ray has his thing. Ray has, and not to offend no one, because Ray can say the exact same thing with me. Ray can say, no, that's Ty thing, and he's doing that's too, I'm not with that. But there's a respect right here. Like, Ray will be like, well, I know Ty, he's not with I know what Ty can and cannot tolerate, and the same with me. So I know I would not disrespect. And let's say if it was two women here doing this same thing that me and you are doing, the women would be able to say to themselves, well, I know not to disrespect so-and-so. Well, I know Janet will not like if I do this and that, so I know not to disrespect Miss Janet or Miss Jackson anyway. But anyway, and shout out to Janet Jackson. She was here too some weeks back. Mm-hmm. And they were about I heard they were about to cancel that concert because it took a lot of folk. One lady was on the news talking with Andy Fox and them saying it took her 3 hours to drive. It was a 3-minute drive her and a lot of other folk were late for the concert. And then it was told to me, I got an emergency phone call saying, hey, T2NINE, we thought you were coming to the concert because we were about to cancel it. I said, no, my people supposed to tell her people that do not cancel the concert. I'm sorry. But anyway, go ahead. Shout out to Janet Jackson. But no, that's with the disrespect. You know the lines. I know what you can and cannot tolerate. That's the bottom line, man. It's fair to ask that question because there may be some that really don't know what's up.
We get it.
Okay, cool. I hope I answered your question.
So we're going to close out with this. So as I was saying earlier, with the 65 million people that's catching COVID on the other side of the water at China. So this only leaves us to think or to prepare for the worst. So now this go round, I'm breaking this up just a simple fact because I want people to be prepared and and move accordingly way better than how we did in 2020 because 2020 it was like low key unacceptable because the simple fact they kept talking about it on the news and we just thought they was playing like it won't about to come over here and stuff like that and it ended up coming here. Now everybody looking crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? So now this go around, I am bringing it to my podcast and we're gonna speak about it. This is what we're closing out with on how we should properly move and like what we should do with it. And I feel like right now, us as people, we should fast more. We should do more fasting so we can get our immune system and everything in our body detox and cleanse. So we have that one day that we didn't have like food, like our food is properly digested. Just have that one day so our food can be properly digested because when you don't let your body digest these foods, this is why we have like obese problem, everything's everything, you know what I'm saying? So we wanna fast so we can help our health and also make sure we can prepare for what's to come. Because when we think about it, the more we eat, is the more chance of you able to get sick, especially with these foods that we are partaking in. Because it's not like we sitting here eating fruit and vegetables every day. So we need to be cautious on the things that we take in our body because these are the things that are causing us to get sick, like drinking milk, which causes mucus. So we need to watch our intake. Let's watch our intake. Let's drink more water. Let's fast daily.
I agree.
Or fast one day out the week.
Well, let me say this. What about for the ones that can't fast? What about the ones that have to eat? Because me, I have a weight problem. I have a weight problem. I can't wait to eat. I love to eat. I said that to say this.
But is it a weight problem or a discipline problem?
It could be a little bit of both, and I'm gonna tell you why. Discipline has to play a big part as far as eating.
There you go.
And my wife be on me hard. She'd be like, "Did you get your water intake on?" But listen, I know a couple of folk that passed away from drinking too much water. Too much of anything can make you or break you.
Right, but if you ain't doing it.
And I get that. I think what you can do, and I had to do it myself, I'm guilty of it, but write down how you're going to do on a different, because you can have a cheat day. I remember Steve Harvey was speaking about it. Steve Harvey was saying that one time it was like a cheat day, and there were a lot of folk. I mean, I remember, and I'm a very long time fan of the Tom Joyner Morning Show. On the Tom Joyner Morning Show, he used to bring on folk to talk about eating certain diet or dieting in a way or eating certain foods. Today, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's hard to find good because in order to be healthy and eat good, you got to spend some money. Like now you have this Publix that we might be getting this, and I talked about that in my story. I heard this store, and Wegmans is a good place to shop at, but Publix is supposed to be, they're supposed to be putting up a Publix in Virginia Beach off of General Booth, and I've heard nothing but good reviews on this Publix. No, is it called Publix? I know I did a story. I'm almost sure it's Publix, but yeah, not to put any of these other stores down because everyone is gonna say, well, we think we good, we think we the best, we think we the best. They think they the best, and I know the competition is fierce. Just like in what we're doing, competition is fierce. Even in my other hustles, that's why I'm your favorite hustler. And all that I do in each one of those lanes, there's your competitors. And with or without them, I'd rather have competitors because they put a fire under my hind parts to say, hey, I need to get up and do something because if I lay there and do nothing, they're going to win. It's obvious that they're going to win. And speaking of winning, Miami Heat, ooh, boy, don't get up against the wall, baby.
Yeah, we'll talk.
But we got to close this out, man.
So again.
Yeah, go ahead.
So again, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Just watch what you partake in, because I'm only looking out for y'all because I just already know they talked about this during the pandemic of 2020 that it was going to be another one. That it's possible for it to be another one.
Well, you think it could be a scare tactic?
No, it's not no scare tactic.
All right, well, yeah.
I mean, of course, it's a scare tactic, but we can look at that all day long, and it's still gonna come. So
yeah, and then
for instance, for look though, I thought, me being me, I thought I was never gonna get it because I'm eating right and all this other stuff and stuff like that, but I still end up getting it. So and that's just me moving the way I was moving. I wasn't scared of it and all that, and I'm thinking I'm not gonna get it, and then I end up eventually getting it. And it took long enough for me to get it, but it didn't last long. It only lasted for like a day, and then it went away the next day, and I was good the next day and stuff like that. So,
and then of course, like we were talking earlier about restrictions and all like that. And then with the stimulus checks and all that, we can go. I wish we had more time, but even with that, you had a whole lot of tricking. Folk lying, talking about something. Hey, you throw a cough out there, boy. You would not believe the stories I had to put up with that it costs. Whereas I thought I was gonna make a certain amount of money with me being a professional truck driver for 30 years. Paycheck was cut in half because of folk that want to sit home on their hind parts and eat bonbons and watch General Hospital. They would not go to work because they was like, hey, I got the COVID, or hey, I feel the symptoms coming on. A lot of laziness. Folk was saying, hey, I get more sitting at home instead of being in folks' faces. And like I said, we can talk about that.
And that's the agenda that they are pushing. And that we're gonna save that for.
Well, we're getting lazier and lazier.
And that's when you know it. And you know it.
Well, anyway, thank you for listening.
That's the third out of 5, just about audio. I appreciate y'all vibing out with us today. Many more to come. This is the 94th episode, y'all. So look,
and
on
real
our way
fast.
to 100.
And real fast, thank you for having me on. And again, check out the Hustler Experiment. Not one dull moment. I play those oldies but goodie hits on there. I have your national news as well as
what you got on the new episode? Explain
how
your new episode is so they can go to it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm forever having ideas, and it's God Almighty that bring these ideas to my head. Of course, me, you, my wife, other folk had a little say-so in it. Last month, I started the Gospel Chronicles. The first week of each month, when I play the show, in that first month, the first week of that month, all you gotta do, I still keep my shows up. You get nothing but that old gospel, baby, that old time religion that make you get up and do the Holy Foot dance. So next week, I'm gonna have the Gospel Chronicles, which my saying is the Gospel Chronicles, whereas I take it way back, taking you back as you reminisce. That's it, because I write everything down. Taking you back as you reminisce, nothing but gospel music on there. I still have my segments. I still had a Hustle Experiment and my news, national news, the entertainment news, the 5-minute commute mix, the Chew On Minute, which is brought to you by, you'll hear all that, and the prep to get you to make preparations to prep you up for that 5-minute commute mix. And the 5-minute commute mix is a constant reminder to bring down the road rage and to make it a better commute for the 757. And I always had that rundown on your favorite hustler. Oh, and guess what? I have those movie bits. All those movie bits is off the chain. It have you guessing, because I'll say, guess these movie bits. Guess these movie bits if you can. And I just love the show. I kid you not. So these are ideas that God Almighty put in my head. Thank you, Jesus.
So your shout outs.
Oh yeah, my shout outs is to the Cuffy Crew, Homegrown Studios, Monticello Market Street. Shout out to Third Eye Fi and RK5. Loving what you're doing. And again, please, thank you in advance. Please check out my show, The Hustle Experiment.
Check them out.
Yeah.
I would like to give a special shout out to my spiritual tribe that's on Instagram. I'm going to shout out Elijah. Shout out to you, Janaea.
Right on.
H.Empress_J97. I appreciate you so much and all your love and all you do. She do jewelry. She got a business with jewelry. She in one of the islands. I forgot which island she in. but we stay in contact and we stay keeping each other informed with what's going on. So shout out to her. She gonna be coming on to the show virtually real soon, hopefully next month. My boy Eternal, shout out to Eternal. He also do jewelry and he also got his storefront in Virginia Beach. Y'all can find him on Instagram at EETURNAL. Also Maya in Black. Her Instagram is INBLVCK_. I just finished doing a logo for her business, and I'm gonna also be bringing her on to the show as well. And everybody else, Malaysia, anybody else, Gabriella, all of y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for just staying down with the tribe and basically keeping the community together and virtually keeping each other informed with the community. So y'all.
Well, Ray, why not just say shout out to everybody that knows me?
Shout out to everybody that know me. Shout out to everybody that know me, who been down and have been messing with me.
And including the haters.
Including the haters. I love y'all, cause man, what motivation be on 1,000, cause nothing can stop me.
And again, and even to the competitors, I want to shout them out as well, because without the competition, I mean, hey man, who do you compete with to make you better? And I'm gonna say this real fast. I was watching an interview off of Snoop Dogg. Snoop said something that was very intriguing to me. He said something like, hey, even the ones that wanted me, and I'm paraphrasing, he was like, even for the ones that wanted me to be enemies with these certain folk, I'm like, why would I be enemies with these folk? They're making me to be a better rapper, a better artist. Mm-hmm. Say, I want to work with these folk. Hey, who helped them? Let me touch bases with them. So, hey man, look, I remember in The Wire, I learned a lot from The Wire. I know I'm all over the place. I learned a lot from The Wire, watching all 5 seasons of The Wire. I remember one part when Stringer Bell, shout out to Idris Elba, he said, territory don't mean, and I don't use profanity, but he was like, territory don't mean nothing. And he said, guess how much we made even when we worked all together? Did we make less? And a lot of them, the drug dealers that was in that meeting, they said, they were looking like, yeah, I think we made less. He said, we made more. We made more. Territory don't mean nothing. So I said all that to say this. Even with all the apps, all the competitors, all the YouTube channels, everyone that's up there, because right now with social media, all this is one big stage. It's how you present yourself and it's how you carry yourself. I say this, you can still win one at a time. Get it how I said, one at a time? Time is so precious, very precious. Depending on how early you get up to start your day and how you end your day. Because we all gonna check up out of here. That's the bottom line.
And Stone Cold said so.
Shout out to Stone Cold. Yeah, I tell you, The Rock and all, and I there's so many documentaries I done seen that helped me. I've learned a lot.
Man.
And I'm gonna tell you, the next time we talk, remind me on this. Can being in your own personal space, we'll talk about Big Brother, because I'm going to have y'all to scratch your head. I'll leave you with this. Imagine if we thought it was just me and you talking, and there was a hidden camera up, and I said some things, and it got out there. Why would people still hold me accountable? Because I thought I was in the privacy of my own space. Or at home, like for example, let's say if, and then we definitely gonna cut it. Let's say if Ray called me and I'm at home and I look at my phone and I look at my wife and say, that doggone Ray, that sorry no good joker, he calling me again. But what if I accidentally hit the button and turned it on and he heard me say that? Would Ray say something like, 29th, I heard your A, because he does use profanity. And I don't like what you said. And I don't like what you said, do he still? Why can't I easily say something like, "Well, Ray, it wasn't meant for you to hear that." So we're gonna talk about that. I'm talking about from the Kurt Franklins to the Hulk Hogans and all them. They.
Oh yeah, I just seen some mess with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
with the whole sex scandal thing.
Yeah, and
He
yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they set him up,
But-
and he got the money.
He did, but here's the thing. He said, and I believe him, he's not a racist.
But he said, nigga.
No.
Did he not
Wait
say
a
it?
minute. Hold up.
Did he say it?
Wait a minute. Bruh, you say stuff that I don't agree with. I say stuff you don't agree with. Hulk Hogan is not a racist in public. And I'm going to end it at that.
And this is the third up.
And the 29th, so hold up. And the 29th, and the 29th said so. And you may not agree. Peace.